Hey everybody, welcome to day 535 of Reseller Reflections, a day in the life of a full-time reseller supporting her family. It is Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. 2525. I like that. We did not meet our sales goal yesterday, but today is looking pretty good. And yeah, I am all reset to zero. The shipping is done. And we did have a little thing about resetting to zero and what actually counts. So it's a personal decision. But I do have to say that I do have, like right now, I have a pile of stuff next to me that I don't know that will get listed today. However, it is stacked up and ready to go for tomorrow. So that is my reset to zero, right? It can be a stack of things that are prepared for the next day. In my world, that's my choice here because it's my reset to zero. I'm sure all of ours look a little different. And all right, so I was deciding between two very opposing things today to talk about. One was something that happened yesterday. Well, it didn't happen yesterday. It happened on the 17th, but I ran up against a wall yesterday and it is absolutely detrimental to what I am doing. And it has to do with photo room. It is an integral part of my process and removing the backgrounds from photos. And all of a sudden I got a pop up. You're out of batch exports. Now, this is a super significant part of my process. And I was like, what? There was never any limit on it. And it looks like, and my subscription doesn't renew. I think I paid $80 for the year or something, and I've been using it for a couple of years. My subscription is not due to be renewed until July. I'm like, so what? I'm out of exports for the month. Like they limit it to 500. That can be a busy day for me, 500. And that was 500 for the month. And if I want to have the appropriate number of batch exports, I'm going to have to pay, for the number I need, it would be over $200 a month. All right, that's out of budget. That's not going to happen. Why this change happened in the middle of the busiest time of year is just frustrating. The whole thing is frustrating. It totally interrupted my day yesterday. It stopped what I was able to do, and I had to take care of that. And they have a workaround for legacy users. So I'm looking at that right now. So if you are a legacy user of Photo Room, they might be able to set you up until the end of your subscription. But put a thing in the comments or send us an email, consignmentchats@gmail.com, and I will share that with you. But it just, it reminded me of how not to be dependent on one thing, right? Like we depend on certain software to do, our consignment, and they're phenomenal. They're not going anywhere. They're not doing something crazy like this. It's Consign Cloud. It's always linked up in the show notes. They are an amazing company to work with, and I have no fear of that. But all these parts of the process, right? And there's a lot of parts and pieces. Like this is like, I thought I was running a well-oiled machine here. But there's a lot of parts and pieces to the process. And it really did remind me of not to be too dependent or to have workarounds when something like this happens. Now, I'm going to have to rework a significant amount of my process based on this change. But all right, here we go. That's life. That is the life of a reseller, and that is what is happening now. Now, I have to say, all right, this is the second part, which is totally different than this, but it relates. So hang with me a second. Yes, I'm frustrated. Yes, it is horrible. Yes, I do not believe it was an ethical thing to do mid-subscription. But there you have it. Hopefully they reverse this or do something to make it right. I don't know at this point, but I'll keep you updated. But anyway, good reminder to have a backup process and not to become too dependent on one thing. And we always preach that going into Q4. Apparently, I didn't follow my own advice when it came to Photo Room. All right. So anyway, I was in the co-working room yesterday when this all happened, and one of our community members, shout out to Jason Wells, developed developed a script, a workaround using Google Photos. I mean, literally, like, wrote the program, had shared it with us this morning, and it's amazing, right? So now I already have a workaround if I need it, and that's the route I choose. So it's so cool to be part of this community and just have this kind of support and be able to talk to other people about, what's happening, like what would you suggest, what do you do, because not everybody uses the same process I use. But everybody's always willing to help and share, and that is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, so the whole time when all this is happening, what I'm listing is and I will link up the Fearless video. So the whole reason for Reseller Reflections was my friend Diane Lassonde, who passed away January 1st of this year. And I have some of her inventory. She started the Fearless Living Fund, and I have some of her inventory here that I'm listing and using as a fundraiser for the Fearless Living Fund, which supports the Blind Center of Nevada. So the whole time this frustration is happening, I'm working on these items. I'm thinking about her. I'm thinking about, the impact she has had on the reselling community, on my life personally, and you know, Reseller Reflections wouldn't be here without her. And I'm working on these items, and I'm thinking, all right, well, what would Diane do? What would Diane do? And her whole concept was to fear less. And that is the whole impetus behind the a blind center, and to help its patrons fear a little less, right? Some of them have. I'm going to link up the video. It's a beautiful thing, this Fearless Living Fund. But it started with her word of intention for the year, which was to fearless, not fearless, but fear less. And it was all about, like, I think it was like going out like during, after COVID, and to really fear less. And it just snowballed into everything. And I thought, all right, well, I'm going to fear this, transition less, because I really felt fear, like fearful, like, oh my gosh, is my business going to blow up? Like, what's going to happen? Is Q4 just going to, like, am I going to put the brakes on? Is it going to come to a screeching halt? Am I going to, spend the extra money for a short period of time to be able to conduct business as usual? And, there was a lot of fear involved in that. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to channel this, and I am going to fear less and figure out the solution and figure out a workaround with some help from some friends, of course. And yeah, it totally changed my mindset. So when I started my day today, it was, fearless, and just, proceed and figure it out. And, there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of things, I fear, I'm sure you fear, that are kind of, misplaced, and you just need to move forward. So those are the two things I wanted to talk about today. I also want to let you know, the video we have released on the Consignment channel today. Our weekly video is about thankfulness and gratitude. So I'm going to share that as well, but I'll be talking about that tomorrow. And that was so much fun to record, and it couldn't have come on a better day. All right, everybody, have a wonderful evening. I will see you on day 536 of Reseller Reflections. Night, night.